Shavua Tov, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief. As many of you know, we bring you the Israel Brief every Monday to Thursday, but this is an exceptional circumstance. I don't even know where to begin, so I'm going to speak to you without notes, without preparation, and from my heart. And I ask that as much as possible, you share Israel's story. I know that the world is seeing what we have been warning about for decades, the level of depravity and barbarism that we deal with every single day with Hamas and other Iranian-sponsored proxies on our border in Gaza. But yesterday was a day that was unprecedented. As our ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdan, said, it is Israel's 9/11. So let me get you through what happened as best as I can. Please understand I am on very, very little sleep and absolutely emotionally shattered, as are the millions of people in my country today. We are trying to make sense of yesterday, and I don't think that we will for a very long time fully process the devastation that happened. From about 6:30 yesterday morning, massive barrages of rockets were fired into Israel as far north as Netanya, to Modi'in, where I am, and to Jerusalem, our capital. This morning, there still have been rockets fired onto the citizens of the south, who in the last 24 plus hours have endured the absolutely unendurable. From where I was sitting yesterday in Modi'in and warned to stay close to our shelters by the mayor, the booms did not stop. The booms did not stop. We can only imagine what it was like for the citizens of the south. Now, these rockets were fired, we believe, as a cover for Hamas and other terrorists to infiltrate southern Israel. They did so by land, sea, and air. They flew in using paragliders. They came in from the sea. Thank goodness our commandos managed to wipe many of them out. And they broke through the barrier between Israel and Gaza using bulldozers. They got into the desert area where there was a rave, a festival for young people being held. Many of those people have been killed, and many of them have been taken into captivity. The latest stats that we are getting in now are 300 people killed, nearly 1,800 people wounded, a couple of hundred of them seriously, and 100 people taken into captivity. The scenes that we witnessed yesterday of terrorists going door to door in towns like Sderot, in kibbutzim, and moshavim in the south, executing people in the street, like elderly people standing at a bus stop, executing them in the street, going house to house, kidnapping and killing people, is a level of depravity and barbarism I don't think anybody can comprehend. The images we saw of a young woman we now know was a German tourist, a tattoo artist here in Israel, celebrating at a festival, her body desecrated for the cameras, for the gleeful cameras of Hamas and their supporters in Gaza. We can't imagine what her parents are feeling. I cannot describe to you what it feels like to hear the pleas of families pleading for their loved ones in Gaza. One man saw his wife and his two daughters, one 2.5, one 4, and his mother-in-law captured by Hamas. In response, the IDF have launched Operation Swords of Iron. As our Prime Minister said yesterday, this is not an escalation, this is not an operation, we are at war. Make no mistake, Israel's response will be harsh and it will be swift. We also will take into account that there are civilians in Gaza and do everything that we can to ensure we don't kill them. As our IDF Arabic spokesperson has warned residents of Gaza to take cover. There has been a massive call-up of IDF reserves. These include our sons and brothers and daughters and mothers, loved ones, lovers, friends and colleagues. Please keep in your prayers the safety of our brave men and women of the Israel Defense Forces. We have had some of the dead been identified, 15 from Kibbutz Netiva Asara, including a family with young children. Magen David Adom paramedic yesterday on his way to save lives was killed. Hamas using a drone shot at an IDF ambulance. These are people who kidnap the elderly, women and children and shoot at ambulances. We have been warning you, world. We have been telling you for decades. Do you believe us now? Yesterday's depravity has drawn widespread global condemnation, including from the Chief of the United Nations, Secretary General Antonio Guterres. The UN Security Council will meet to discuss the situation here. I just want to take a little moment of a personal detour. Many of you know that I volunteer with WITO. I sit on the executive where I hold the portfolio of Head of Public Diplomacy. This is my service to my country. This is my volunteer work. That work has taken me many times to places like Sderot and surrounds, to meet delegations, to tell them the story of the people of Sderot. And I want to tell you the story of the people of Sderot, because they are phenomenal. These are people who have always been so resilient. As they have told me time and time again, we love each other. We support each other as a community. So many times I have visited the police station in Sderot, which now no longer exists, in order to get rid of the Hamas terrorists that were holding people hostage inside there. It had to be destroyed. We can only pray that the police inside there, the proud police of the Israel police services, did not know what happened to them. Let me tell you about the people of Netiva Asara. Some of you from WITO recall at our last EGM going down there, going to Sderot, seeing our daycare centers and our center to help the residents with PTSD. And we went to Kibbutz Netiva Asara. And we put a tile on the wall of peace that forms the border between Gaza and the kibbutz, because that's all they wanted was peace. And now they will be holding funerals, and God knows who else has disappeared. Let me tell you about the police of Sderot. No matter how many times I've been there and taken delegations, even without an appointment, they have always been so gracious, so happy to welcome us into their police station. We cannot comprehend what these families are feeling today. I can only appeal to you to please keep in your prayers, whatever religion you follow, and even if you're an atheist. Our families in the south are now over 100 being held captive by Hamas in conditions we can't even comprehend. And I just want to remind you, in 2005, Israel withdrew from Gaza. We withdrew unilaterally, including taking our dead. And this is the response. Hamas confirmed this morning that this is Iran, that they were financed by Iran, and Iran helped plan this attack. Yesterday was the last day of Sukkot. It was Simchat Torah, a day we celebrate receiving the Book of Books, the Holy Torah. Today we are devastated and we are heartbroken. And as our Prime Minister said, this will be a long and hard war. But make no mistake, we will win. We are the people of Israel. We are the citizens of Israel. We have endured and we will endure. And please, God, with your love and with your support, because there are so many of you supporting us, we will be strong. I appeal to you, please, to share this far and wide. If there's anything that you want to do to help us in Israel, you can do the following. You can be a voice for the people of Sderot and surrounds. You can be a voice for the captives. If you are living in countries around the world with Jewish communities who are frightened right now, go show them that you support them and that you stand with them and that you love them. If you are somebody on campus right now, maybe a member of faculty, make sure that students and staff, Jewish students and staff, feel safe. If you are on social media, share how you stand with Israel by sharing our beautiful blue and white flag. If you want to support a variety of Jewish and Zionist causes, please do so. I just want to take a moment to thank our men and women of the IDF, our police, our security forces, our firefighters, our paramedics, our first responders, and everyone who is working around the clock to ensure that we are safe and we are taken care of. Now is not the time for blame and division. Now is the time for unity, and now is the time for strength. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief.